Hello and welcome to another part of the series where I talk about new Pokemon coming out in Crown Tundra, their interaction with Series 5 Pokemon, and interaction with new Crown Tundra Pokemon as well, by themselves. As always, we're gonna start the video talking about the new movesets these Pokemon I'm talking about today got, that being Kartana, Celesteela, and Xurkitree today. So let's get into that. The first page is not going to be as exciting as the second page, however, unfortunately, but boy, what are we seeing over here? Well, let's skip the Xurkitree already. There's not much interesting stuff happening over there. Let's skip all these nonsense, self-destruct, body slam, anger. It gets Mega Horn now, but here is the elephant in the room, right? Celesteela got Cosmic Power. Wonderful. Everyone wanted that. Everyone wished for that. Like, of course, everyone who played 2017 probably knows the horrors that Celesteela brought to the game. Basically, it's sometimes 1 3 versus 1 because you just didn't have a normal effective attack. Super effective attack against the Celesteela. The idea of Celesteela in late games was basically that they will get some boost through the game, like +1 special defense, +1 defense. And then they outstall even the Pokemon that would normally beat it with normal effective attacks, because it's just way too bulky to deal with +1 special defense Celesteela with stuff like, I don't know, what can I think off the top of my head? Like, for example, Muddy Water from Tapu Fini. It just doesn't do enough damage, you Leech Seed it, and it's just gonna get ugly. But Cosmic Power, you do not have to knock out anything, you just use Cosmic Power, get the boosts, and reap the benefits in late game. It's just so simple. The opponent is just ridiculous, as we're gonna probably see later in the metagame. Now, yeah, they got Mega Horns, that will be interesting to see on the other set I'm gonna talk about today on Celesteela. But importantly, Kartana got Solar Blade, which is more powerful Grassium, max Grass, max Overgrowth attack. So if you well, it got 2 uses. If you're using Sun Team, and you got Scarf Kartana, well, why not add Solar Blade onto its moveset? It's a powerful attack, you don't need a dynamax to it, and you know Kartana already has such a high base attack that it's going to definitely knock out some good amount of Pokemon, sorry about that. So I think Solar Blade Kartana is going to be good while dynamaxing, if you need to get one more specific knockout that Leaf Blade doesn't get you, or on Sun teams where it can use it as an alternative attack. Now, something happened that all of you have feared though. Kartana got Grassy Glide as well. So if you got Tapu Bulu as an ally, you could theoretically use it to get more Grassy Glides out of your team. And of course Kartana got much higher base attack than Tapu Bulu has, so it will do quite a mess to the opponent's team. Of course, another idea of Grassy Glide Kartana could involve Dynamax with Kartana, standing up the grassy terrain, and after the Kartana shifts to its small form again, you can use Grassy Glides with priority, which could again be game-changing in late game. But of course, as you're gonna see, Kartana has quite a busy moveset to use, so Grassy Glide will be hard to fit on it, especially if it got competition from stuff like Solar Blade as well. Celesteela got Grassy Glide as well, but take a note, since Celesteela is levitating above the ground, it won't be able to take advantage of the power boost from Grassy Glide. I'm not sure if it gets the priority actually, but I'm pretty sure it's just the damage that doesn't get boosted while it's levitating. If you want to disrupt terrains, of course you got Steel Roller on Celesteela, and Xurkitree got Rising Voltage. So if you got Tapu Koko on your team already, and you want to just destroy your opponent, add a Chase Scarf on Xurkitree, just get it Rising Voltage, and lead with Xurkitree, switch to Tapu Koko turn 1, and just watch the world burn, I guess. Again, watch out, the Rising Voltage is not boosted if the opponent's Pokemon is levitating above the ground, that being Flying typing or levitating or whatever, I don't know. Telekinesis I think counts as well, as weird as it sounds. Well, we talked about the new movesets, let's go over the sets I prepared for you. And, well, I'm gonna just get the official calc document, and I probably, most likely, after this video, the next video I'm gonna probably release the calc document. I'm still tuning in some last calculations to make it as optimal as possible, and then after the tomorrow's video I'm gonna release it to the public. It's actually quite useful to use. It got a bunch of calculations you could just search for easily. Anyways, let's go over the set on Celesteela right here. Well, this set on Celesteela is quite old. It has been recommended on the VGC calculator for like what, 4 years now, and it's still pretty effective at that. I'm pretty sure it gets breakpoint or leftovers recovery. It basically gets extra leftovers recovered with its amount of HP. And then you get the breakpoint and special defense. You see you get 2 extra points. That's very cool. And the rest of the stats are dumped into defense to get as much defense out of it as possible. Of course, you got the, what is it, odd number or even number on both of these stats, both defense and special defense. So you're going to get as much power out of cosmic power as you can. Basically, if you got odd number, you wouldn't get. If you get plus, go for on 1 cosmic power, you would get 2 less points than with this. I'm not sure if I can show it to you on a calculator, but I will probably show a calculation on the screen right now telling you how the math works, and you see the difference right now, that it's different and more optimal to use even numbers on these boosting Pokemon. Other than that, the set is pretty much what you would expect. Heavy Slam is going to be a bit more nerfed right now because it doesn't work on Dynamax Pokemon. Yeah, that's a fact. That's literally a mechanic not too many people saw. If you use a Wraith type attack against a Dynamaxer, it just does not work for some reason. They say something like the Pokemon shook its head, it cannot use the attack, something like that. I'm pretty sure. So that will be a slight nerf to Celesteela's power, but I mean, if you're Celesteela, you probably don't care about 3-ton Dynamax anyway, so you're gonna be the everlasting, what is it even, like, Rocket? Is that based on a Rocket? I think it is. That's why I actually probably got Cosmic Power, because you see these, it's got like 2 giant jets on the sides. It can launch into Cosmos and get the Cosmic Power out of that. I don't know about that. That's a pretty weird reference and pretty weird and overcomplicated way to get the Cosmic Power, but for Celesteela it works in its favor. Leech Seed and Protect are bread and butter combination. You need this combination to make the late game stalling effective. Leech Seed and Protect you with leftovers recovery and Leech Seed on 1 target. You heal like, what is it, like 1/4 plus 1/8 with leftovers. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's based on the HP on opponent's Pokemon as well, so it's kind of a long run, but you get how ridiculous it can get if you go like 2 last Pokemon on the field and you Leech Seed them both, and then you just protect Cosmic Power, That's pretty much the strategy Celesteela's going to use. And if it needs to finish sounding off, Heavy Slam is going to be great in that, since Celesteela is so heavy, it gets Heavy Slam more than 20 base power against pretty much everything. Except against like stuff like Kartana and Gigalith. Even against Kartana, I think it gets more than 20 base power. Well, that's pretty much the set on Celesteela. Let's talk about some calculations. Keep in mind, Cosmic Power defensive calculations are gonna be a bit weird, because it's not like you want to survive something on the spot. It's not about surviving the attacks like to make them free at KO. You're gonna get like such a weird Leech Seed recoveries and leftovers recoveries thrown into all these calculations that most of this calculation should be only like for your orientation, that you know how much it's going to do. It should not be calculated for anything specific. It's just basically knowledge I'm gonna tell you right now, so you know. So you can probably, if you're going to at any time get a situation against Cosmic Power Celesteela, you're gonna just pretty much know how much your attack is going to do based on the calculations I'm about to show you. So let's go over these really quickly. Tapu Koko's Rising Voltage against Levitating Celesteela, that's +1 special defense. That's 33 to 41%. Well, that's not a lot. And Rising Voltage is going to be very popular on Tapu Koko, so that's going to be kind of painful. Heatwave against +1 special defense Celesteela, that's 34 to 43%. And Sonora's Flare Blitz against +1 defense Celesteela is guaranteed for 8 KO for leftovers recovery. Cool. And now Sunrise's G-Max Fireball against +1 Celesteela is 68% a one-shot. Unfortunately, even if he would EV for this, I mean, Celesteela is going to, like, it's very leech seedy Pokemon that wants to win late game slowly. If you're already getting close to getting one-shotted, you pretty much Celesteela is going to be useless anyway, so even if he would survive this guaranteed, it would not be able to fulfill its late game leech seed niche. If it's against +2 defense Celesteela, the Dynamax Fireball, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Alright, so that's something you can work with. Strong Joe Dracovish Vicious Rand against +1 Celesteela is still a 2-hit KO, but if you leech seed it and you protect and Cosmic Power in between turns, you should be able to win this late game. I actually showed you 2 calculations right now in a row that depict that reality. Alright, I actually mixed in offensive calculations in here as well. So Heavy Slam against Togekiss does 75 to 89%. So if you get Leech Seed recovered twice, you will be able to knock out Togekiss on the second turn you use the Heavy Slam against it. Togekiss is Heat Wave against Celesteela with a critical hit. That's 52 to 61%, and that's a critical hit. Keep in mind, it will Heat Wave. I mean, the critical hit goes through the defense boost, so not much Cosmic Power can do about this. +2 Metagross's Max Hellstorm against +1 defense Celesteela is a guaranteed 3-hit KO with Leftovers Recovery, and Hail nullifies that, but you will get the Leech Seed recovery again, so you should be theoretically able to win this 1v1. Choice Specs Body Motor, Tapu Fini Mighty Motor against +1 Special Defense Celesteela is a possible 6-hit KO after Leftovers Recovery. This is what I'm talking about. Normally effective attack just not working in late game, and Celesteela winning the late game basically because of this fact. Urshifu Single Strike's Wicked Blow. Urshifu is going to be very good against Celesteela actually. Not only it ignores the Cosmic Power boost, it goes through its protects as well. So basically against late game Urshifu you cannot really do anything. Anyways, it does 43 to 51%. That's not horrible, but it's still going to be very annoying to go through protects and defense boosts. Celesteela Heavy Slam against Urshifu Single Strike is not even a 2-hit KO as well, so watch out for that. Urshifu's defense is pretty good, and HP as well. And then Life Orb Dragon Pulse Max Phantasm against +1 defense Celesteela does 38 to 46%, but again, keep in mind it will lower the defense stat next turn with a Max Phantasm. So that's the bread and butter Celesteela set. Wrong! There are more sets you can use with Celesteela, and to confuse your opponent as much as you can. So you can, for example, use Fly and a lot of attack. So if you get a knockout with, for example, Max airstream from Fly, you will get attack boost and speed boost at the same time, and that's just brutal. It's ridiculous, and of course Celesteela will gladly take advantage of that. Heavy Slam, Earthquake, and Superpower are pretty much like for the coverage. Of course you can use Protect instead of something like Superpower if you want extra safety, but I think Earthquake is pretty much mandatory, as I'm going to show you in the calculations right now. Celesteela's Max Quake against Tapu Koko is a guaranteed one-shot. Cool. Celesteela's Max Quake against Heatran is a guaranteed one-shot, but keep in mind, they will most likely Dynamax and will carry Sugar Berry, so it's kind of irrelevant to tell this calculation. It's kind of funny though. And Celesteela's Max Quake against Incineroar is a guaranteed 2-hit KO again, so that's kind of cool. Now for some more Max Airstream calculations. Life Orb Celesteela's Max Airstream against Max Defense and Amogus is a guaranteed one-shot, but they'll most likely run Kobe Berry. Life Orb Celesteela's Max Airstream against Tapu Bulu is a guaranteed one-shot. Life Orb Celesteela's Max Airstream against Tapu Lele, Max Airstream, not Max Steel Spike, is a guaranteed one-shot as well, so you can take advantage of that. And for example, against Tapu Lele, just not use Max Steel Spike, but Max Airstream to get the speed boost to take advantage of the late game. You get the idea. Life Orb Celesteela's Max Airstream against Landorus Tyrian form, if you're a neutral attack, that is is 31% one-shot. Kind of disappointing. Actually, I'm running most of these calculations through Adamant. You're most likely going to outspeed a lot of, like, if you get +1 speed on Celesteela, you're already outspeeding Charizard, which is pretty much good enough. That's mission accomplished for me. You should not fear stuff like Durant or Kartana with Celesteela at all. You fear these Pokemon out instead, so you don't need the extra speed in my opinion, at least. Celesteela's Max Airstream against Kartana, I've just talked about this, That's 74 to 88%. Huh. Kind of unfortunate that is, because I kind of expected a one shot there. Life for Celesteela's max steel spike against dynamax Renator. Against dynamax Renator is guaranteed to hit go. So if it does not dynamax, you are guaranteed one shot. So Life for Celesteela's max steel spike against Tapu Fini or max airstream is guaranteed to hit go. That's very cool. Left for Celesteela's max spike against Taka is a guaranteed one shot. That's very, very cool, because that thing could set up Trick Room and ruin your max airstream plans. And Left for Celesteela's max airstream against Urshifu Rapid Strikes is a guaranteed one shot, instead of just like, this is just a good example. Like, Urshifu Rapid or any Urshifu would just be thinking like, hey, I'm gonna take care of Celesteela in late game, but instead it just gets swept by max airstream and just loses. So that's good. And Psych, you can actually use many different sets with this. Again, let me fix this actually. Not level 5, come on. That's stupid. But you want to run Medicine. You totally need to run Medicine on this one. Life for Celesteela max steel spike against Renator in Sand is only 37% one shot. Kind of unfortunate, given that the physical one does like 59% minimum to dynamax Renator. Actually, I'm seeing the special calculation right now, but I think that with the physical calculation, you will actually one-shot this target. So, Life for Celesteela max airstream against dynamax Venusaur is 56% one-shot, including Life Orb Recall. But reminder, if you're using physical Celesteela, you got almost the same stat, but Venusaur's defense is 20 less. So this is pretty much a guaranteed one-shot, as you should be seeing on the screen right now. Life for Celesteela max airstream against Torkoal, that being special air / max airstream, is a guaranteed one-shot, so you will get special attack boost. Life for Celesteela max airstream against Tapu Fini, very special defensive Pokemon, but you still do it KO it. Life for Celesteela max steel spike against Tapu Koko. Well, it's a guaranteed one-shot. That's very cool. If you get like +2 speed, for example, you can finish it off. Left for Celesteela's max airstream against Legendary Styrian form is a guaranteed one-shot. Wow, so you'll get a special attack boost as well. That's very cool. Left for Celesteela max flare against another Celesteela. That's 74% minimum, so you will win the mirrors against their Celesteela, since they most likely do not carry Flamethrower. Max flare against Dynamax Metagross. He's a 2-hit KO, so that's very cool, because not too many things actually one-shot Metagross, but if you can 2-hit KO it in such a safe way like Celesteela does, I think that's a good accomplishment. My fourth Celesteela max airstream against almost max special defense and Wingus is again guaranteed one-shot. Life Orb Celesteela max airstream against Dracovish is again a guaranteed one-shot. And max airstream against max special defense Incineroar is still a guaranteed 2-hit KO. So Celesteela gets a lot of good 2-hit KOs and one-shot. So I'm kind of proud of my boy Celesteela here, and we're going to go over some more defensive calculations, more so over the air defensive calculations, the airstream defensive calculations. Tapu Koko's Rising Voltage or Volt Switch against Dynamax Celesteela is still guaranteed 3-hit KO. Max Flare against Dynamax Celesteela is never a one-shot. And Liberus and Resist G-Max Fireball against Dynamax Celesteela is 62% the one-shot. Again, if you with your Life Orb Recall, you will most likely one-shot guaranteed, so kind of unfortunate, but that's reality for you. I mean, it's in a race with super effective attack. It has to be expected. So let's go over the Kartana and another Kartana. So this Kartana set and this Kartana set are almost the same actually. I changed Smart Strike and Sacred Sword, but that's not a change. Life Orb Kartana is more offensive, of course. It gets much more many knockouts that normal Kartana doesn't get. I mean, the Southwest Standard Kartana, but the Southwest Kartana surprisingly take extreme amount of attacks you would never expect Kartana to take. Like seriously, it's ridiculous how many attacks does it take. But let's go over some, first off, let's go over the more disappointing stuff. Or I mean, not as exciting stuff as you would expect from Life Orb calculations for Kartana. Kartana's max Steel Spike Life Orb against Dynamax Togekiss, almost max HP, is 62% of one-shot, kind of close to one-shotting, but a lot of Togekiss are not running max HP, so you will most likely get a knockout on them. And even if they are max HP, you still got quite a good chance to one-shot them. -1 life for Kartana max knuckle against Incineroar is a guaranteed to hit KO, especially with the attack boost you're gonna get. Life for Kartana max knuckle against Takataka, if you got Life Orb, is a guaranteed one-shot. That's very cool. Life for Kartana max knuckle against Dynamax Tyranitar does not one-shot, but it gets very close to that, as you're seeing from calculation right now. Is it guaranteed to go, of course. Life for Kartana max overgrowth against Dynamax Tyranitar in Grassy Terrain is a guaranteed one-shot. So if you, for example, set up a Grassy Terrain from last turn, you will be able to one-shot Tyranitar with next max overgrowth. Life for Kartana max knuckle against another Kartana has only 75% one-shot. Would like to get one-shot, but oh well, you can't win them all. Life for Kartana max knuckle against 452 HP Heatran is not a one-shot, so watch out for that. They will one-shot you back, of course, with Heat Wave, and they don't even have to Dynamax, so that's quite brutal. Max Steel Spike against 452 HP Rillaboom has 37% one-shot, wow, and Rillaboom has quite a good defense stats, so yeah, quite a testament to how effective Kartana can be with its stab attacks, especially with Life Orb boost. And now for airstream, yes, it gets aerialized, as I've said wrongly on Twitter, unfortunately. I didn't check the level up moveset, but DM is removed, but Kartana still got aerialized through level ups. Oh goodness, oh no, oh no. So it can get attack boost and a speed boost at the same turn, and especially for something like Kartana, that can get very brutal. So let's go over one calculation I actually shown you right here. Life for Kartana max airstream against Among Us is 50% of one-shot, but again, they will most likely get a Copper Berry. Actually, I'm gonna show you right now Urshifu calculation as well, because I mean that's almost guaranteed that's gonna one-shot, of course. Of course, that's a one-shot, so I'm showing you the calculation right now. And actually, if you want to go for more spicy stuff, you can use Giga Impact to throw off guard something like Charizard or Zapdos. So, for example, 4 HP Zapdos has 87% to get one-shotted by the Max Strike from Kartana. But honestly, I realize it's a bit more consistent, so keep it that. But if you want to risk a bit, don't fear to use Giga Impact. And now for offensive calculations for the Assault Vest Kartana. Don't worry, we'll get to the defensive calculations, because I'm really excited about those. -1 for attack Kartana, Max Knuckle against Incineroar is a guaranteed to hit KO with the attack boost. But free hit KO without it. That's how math works, unfortunately. A Max Overgrowth against Tapu Koko is still a one-shot, almost every time. Max Overgrowth against Tapu Fini is again a one-shot. Max Overgrowth against Legendary Styrian form is a 2-hit KO, as you would expect, even with -1 attack. Kartana Max Knuckle against Takataka is not a one-shot, as you saw, Life Orb calculation was kinda close to not getting one-shot, but we are not max attack now, we don't have Life Orb, so it's pretty far away. Max Steel Spike into Rillaboom is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, cool. Max Overgrowth against Raikovich is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Max Airstream against Dynamax Venusaur. You probably thought, oh, you forgot, David, about the Venusaur last calculation. Well, I did not. But the matter of fact is, even if you have Life Orb, it's still a guaranteed 2-hit KO. And if you don't have it, it's still a guaranteed 2-hit KO against Venusaur. And Venusaur does not do any damage to you. But the Torkoal next to Venusaur will cause a lot of trouble. I thought it was just cool calculation to show you. It's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. And Kartana Max Airstream against Among Us is again guaranteed 2-hit KO. And I'm even pretty sure that even if they have Copper Berry, it's still a 2-hit KO. So you're not missing out on much. And now the AV defensive calculations. Oh boy. So Flare Blitz from 4 attack Incineroar is never a one-shot. Heat runs Heat Wave against Assault Vest Dynamax Kartana with his EV spread. It's only 12% to one-shot. I told you it's very special in defensive, you didn't believe me. And it's only 12% to one-shot, it's ridiculous. Zapdos' Heat Wave against Assault Vest Dynamax Kartana is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, and they only do 55 to 65%. And Life Orb Dragon Balls Max Flare, which was sometimes attacked one-shot Durant, against Assault Vest Dynamax Kartana, is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Max Flare, not Flamethrower, Max Flare. I love Kartana with Assault Vest. I'm gonna love that. Everyone is gonna love that. Well, and now on to our last candidate, Xurkitree. I would probably be pioneer of using Hidden Power aisrtream, but unfortunately Hidden Power was removed from the game in this generation, so too bad. Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Tail Glow Protect gives it the best coverage, And honestly, it's the best setup. It also gives it the best setup potential. We got a breakpoint on the special attack, as you can see here. It gets extra 2 points. But I only increased the EVs by 8. I wanted to outspeed something. Do I have it written down what I wanted to outspeed? I'm not sure. Oh boy, I forgot about it. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I want to outspeed Scarf, Jolly, Landry's Tyrion form. And I'm pretty sure that other perk that I forgot about it. Maybe if when I'm editing a video, I'm probably will show you the text here if I remember it, but I think that's one of the few perks it has. It also pretty much outspeeds everything that doesn't have speed boost under Talmant, so that's another good advantage Xurkitree has. But let's go over some defensive calculation first, and then we're gonna go over the tail gloat calculations. So Landorus's Max Quake against dynamax Xurkitree is a guaranteed to hit KO. It never one-shots. That's very, very cool and very important calculation, I think. To get a breakpoint here. Tapu Lele Psychic and Psychic Train is a guaranteed 3-hit KO. Again, very cool. Life from Dragapult's Max Phantasm against dynamax Xurkitree is a guaranteed 2-hit KO because they'll get the defense drop, unfortunately. Life from Sunrise's G-Max Fireball against the dynamax Xurkitree is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Cool. Life from Cheerforce Liner's Powered against dynamax Xurkitree is again never a one-shot. Very cool. Metagross's Max Quake against dynamax Xurkitree does 53 to 63%, so if they get the weakness plus a beast, they will one-shot you, so keep an eye on that. Urshifu's Single Strike Wicked Blow against dynamax Xurkitree on a critical hit, of course because it's guaranteed critical hit, is 99% to 3-hit KO. Not much you can do about that, but it's like a 3-hit KO from something as powerful as Urshifu, so celebrate please. Strong Joe Dracovish Vicious Rand against dynamax Xurkitree is a 2-hit KO, unfortunately. It's a very powerful attack, that is. And Heatran's Max Quake against dynamax Xurkitree does 53 to 63%, so, oh well. Not looking too bad for the Xurkitree. The Max Quake calculation from Landorus is what it speaks for it. But let's go over the more offensive calculations. Plus freeze, the Xurkitree Dazzling Gleam from this EV spread is a guaranteed one-shot on Dracovish. It's not a guaranteed one-shot, the Dazzling Gleam on dynamax Dragapult, unfortunately. I was expecting kind of that to one-shot, but unfortunately I was let down by the Xurkitree. Even if you have max special attack, it does not have guaranteed one-shot, or very close to guaranteed one-shot, like 75%, unfortunately. Plus 3 Xurkitree's Thunderbolt against Tapu Lele is a guaranteed one-shot, of course, it's a very powerful attack, from very high special attack. Plus 3 Xurkitree's Max Starfall against Assault West Rillaboom is 75% one-shot. Wow, that's actually quite admirable, because Assault West Rillaboom takes a lot of attacks, but not taking that, that's ridiculous actually. Max Lightning with its plus 3 special attack against dynamax Metagross is a 87% one-shot, but unfortunately they will most likely get a Max Quake beforehand, because you're setting up Tail Glow to get to that point. So, oh well, you can get to that part that fast, unfortunately. Plus 3 Xurkitree's Thunderbolt against dynamax Thunderous has 37% one-shot, but of course Max Lightning is a guaranteed one-shot. Plus 3 Xurkitree's Max Ruffle against dynamax Landry's Tyrion form is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, unfortunately. And even if you run max special attack, as you would probably think, would probably get there to one-shot. 1252 modest special attack, max Starfall against plus 3, with plus 3, has only 37% one-shot to the dynamax Landorus, so don't expect magic to happen if you add max special attack. Plus 3 Xurkitree Thunderbolt against dynamax Togekiss is a guaranteed one-shot. Not much of a surprise here, it's a super effective attack. Plus 3 Xurkitree Thunderbolt against Sunrise G-Max is 62% one-shot, and with Life Orb Recall, it's guaranteed one-shot, so that's very cool. And plus 3 Xurkitree Max Lightning against dynamax Heatran is not a one-shot, unfortunately. But Heatran is very defensive Pokemon, so do not expect magic to happen again. And some offensive calculation with no boosts, and some Life Orb calculation as well. Xurkitree's Max Lightning against Tapu Lele, that's 82 to 97%, not a one-shot, unfortunately. Xurkitree's Max Lightning against Tapu Koko and Electric Train, I think that was a one-shot with Electrium Z in Generation 7, but unfortunately with Max Lightning, you do not get the one-shot, unless you have Life Orb boost, that is. Life Orb Xurkitree's Max Starfall with Max Special Attack against Dynamax Dragapult is a guaranteed one-shot, but again, if you want to run better, if you want to run one-shot Dragapult, you should go for Tapu Koko and physical one. Because, as weird as it sounds, special Max Starfall, Life Orb, Tapu Koko's Max Starfall against Dragapult is not a guaranteed one-shot, but this is. But again, Tapu Koko brings so much more to the field that I think I'd recommend it over this if you want to do something to Dragapult. And Xurkitree's Max Lightning against Tapu Fini is a guaranteed one-shot even without a boost. And with that, we talked about all the sets I wanted to show you. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll catch you next time, so see ya!